Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up With Me, HB. This week has been pretty fun-filled. In fact, we've had so many things kind of happening over the space of the last 7 days. So I guess quick recap, last week was the first week of my Road to Worlds training program or collaboration launch. So we have had so many girls hop on board with this program. I think we've had maybe 700 or so sign up to do the program, and a good 50% or more have signed up to the private Facebook group. And I've been madly getting on there trying to check all the comments each day, and it's been really good. So for those of you that are following along on that private group, I will be hopping on there as frequently as I can. I did some filming today in the gym actually to, I guess, demonstrate some of the different exercises, probably going through some of the techniques and angles of setup just to make sure that you're optimizing movement patterns. So if you aren't following along there, go and hop on to the private Facebook group. I had a really good week. It was so nice to have a deload. It's been, 6 weeks. Usually I try and schedule one in every 6 weeks or at the beginning of a new training block. I think it really helps just with the speed of getting through that new program. I think when you've been on a certain program for a set number of weeks, if you jump into a new training program where there's a different order or different variations of things, you feel really slow. So I think to have a deload made it a little bit easier to get through. So I felt pretty sore, to be honest, after this week's sessions. So I am a little bit naughty. I did not get to the manual therapy this week. So I'm hoping to gosh that I can actually find some time in my schedule this week to go and get some therapy, because I'm starting to get a little bit tight. Just certain movements, I can feel things kind of not really giving up when they should be. So girls or guys, if you are doing that program, look after your bodies, find time for some stretching, find time to, I guess, recover. It is going to be a pretty full-on program, so I need to get myself organized. So training went really well. I'm looking forward to starting week 2 this week. I guess the training volume is starting to increase a little bit. So you'll notice that the deload was 2 working sets of all the exercises. This week it jumps up to 3, and the intensity increases a little bit. So last week we were working 2 repetitions in reserve of 3. This week it pops up to 2. So we should all be trying to kind of progress our weights a little bit if we can. Training was great. Last week, I actually had a couple of fittings for my, costumes. I've worked with one particular costume designer in the past, Renata, but she is based in the UK and she does gorgeous suits. She's so creative. She'll do sketches for you kind of with her vision of what she has in mind. In fact, she actually doesn't want you to tell her what you want. She likes to do the creation, based on your personality and what you, stand for. So that's kind of where I've gone in the past, but I found it really challenging just with the back and forth being overseas. And obviously shipping delays at the moment have been insane. I've experienced this from our own businesses. So I was a little bit nervous given that it is such a short time to stage. And because this was a spontaneous decision, normally I'm planning that stuff months and months ahead. So I don't really have a lot of wriggle room this year. So I did a few, ring arounds, and a good friend of ours actually owns a wedding store. She's based here in St. Petersburg, Cindy Lou. So I got to go down and catch up with her, and we did a fit, got all my measurements, went through the designs, and we've started to put together a little bit of a vision board. So colors that I like, materials, textures, those kinds of things to kind of get some flair, because there are several different garments that I need for the event. So this isn't like a regular, bodybuilding show like the IFBB where it's just one single day. It's a week of events. So we start on Tuesday and this ends on Saturday evening. Technically, it's going to be Monday for me because there's photo shoots, after over the next couple of days. But we have a registration day, we have a media day where there's themes, and then we also have an athletes meeting, and then we have the show days. And for each of those events, you kind of need to have a different outfit. Of course, the media day is going to be theme. I don't know what that is just yet. We're kind of waiting for that to be announced. But we need ball gowns. So I think in the past, I went a little bit safe with my outfits. So just seeing what some of the girls, were wearing last time I competed, it's really pageant-like. And that's not something that I'm really familiar with. I grew up in Australia, so we don't really do pageants. So I guess the WBFF is, the acronym is World Fashion Beauty. So it's not just about bodybuilding, it's also about the for fashion. So you really have to make a bit of a statement here. So it's sequins, glitter, glamour, like it really is a full show. And it reminds me a little bit like, I guess, a Victoria's Secret's runway show blended with bodybuilding. So it's quite unique. So yeah, the dresses that we've picked out, I might just put a few up on the screen for you to have a quick peek about the style that we're going for. They are beautiful. So I'm pretty excited for that. I don't know exactly what my theme wear is going to be just yet, but it's going to be amazing. So did that on Wednesday, spent a few hours, had to go and organise and get some, I guess, of the undergarments to start kind of building upon. So for these bikinis, you basically start with a basic bra and then you decorate it. So you've got glue, you're sewing on, you're sequining, like it's like all of the little embellishments. So it's going to be pretty detailed. So outside of contests, this week was actually a very special week for our coaching team. So Team BioLane had our 16-week diet and lifestyle remodel group get together. So back in February, actually we do 2 of these every year. So it's been February and then we do one in July, and it's a 16-week remodel. So it's basically, you'll sign up for that term and the coaches are working on identifying certain behaviors or habits that might be limiting you from achieving your best physique. And it's not just a fat loss challenge. It's really about, okay, where are you at? What needs to actually happen? Because so many people make the repeated mistake of dieting and then they diet again and then they diet. And meanwhile, you know, they're getting significant metabolic adaptation, you know, they're running their bodies into the ground, they're starting to have some negative health consequences as a result. This is really like an overhaul. It's not a fat loss program. It's like, how can we get you into a position that's going to set you up for success in the future? So we had, I believe, about 130 participants enter into this last challenge, or I guess remodel, and it was awesome. So we had several people kind of fly in from different locations around USA. The whole team got together and we had a really lovely afternoon. It was stinking hot. There are so many burnt individuals in this building right now and that I spoke to over the weekend. It was really hot, but we did have cabanas outside. I'll be able to put some footage up really briefly to show you what that was all about. But we announced our winners. It was a fantastic event. So that happened this Saturday, and we're just about to gear up for another one, which will start in July. So if anybody is interested in learning about the 16-week diet and lifestyle remodel, we'll be starting to post some information about that in the coming week or two on the Team BioLane page. So if you aren't following those guys, go and check them out. This is our in-person kind of one-on-one coaching team. So what else? I'm pretty sure it was Lane and Mai's anniversary. Before we get to the anniversary, I also had to drive to Orlando, which is about an hour and a half from where we live. So we had that big event. We were up pretty late that night with everybody. We had so many people kind of stick around afterwards and we all went dancing. We did wine flights. It was a lot of fun. And then I had to get up and drive to a posing workshop for the WBFF the next morning. So it was a busy weekend. So that was really great. We had, I'd say there was about 30 or 40 girls that turned up. We had a couple of sponsors kind of looking after the event. They fed us lunch. We went through a little bit about the different categories, the divisions for girls to compete in. We had a heap of new girls that are attending for the first time. So we kind of went through all the poses and just kind of shared information about what the WBFF is all about. So that was a really good day. I got to practice my posing. That's just not something that I ever do. I need to do a little bit more of it, and I think I have to start putting that in my schedule the closer we get to Worlds. So yeah, it was really nice to kind of shake off the cobwebs from me, do a little bit of posing routine, and then I was straight back down to Tampa to meet Lane, one of our clients and a friend of mine who's staying with us this week for the event, and we went out on the boat for a couple of hours. So we did that, and this is on, I guess, our pre-anniversary, and then Lane and I had our anniversary dinner after that. So I think we got to dinner at about 9 o'clock because we fit all that in somehow. So it was just a really long day, but it was super nice to kind of just sit back and relax and enjoy each other. Because when you're doing those events and you're busy running around, like, I'm not talking to Lane. I think I might have said like 3 words to him the entire day because I'm talking to all the girls, trying to like get everybody chatting and get to know everybody. So I might have had an hour and a half at most one-on-one with my husband this week. So yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. So I suppose let's have a look at my nutrition, because that being said, usually when there's a lot going on, I'm a little distracted with my diet. So let's go and take a look. Okay, so we will start with my calories for the week. So my check-in day is obviously Monday, so we'll look at Monday through to Sunday. My average calorie intake for the week was 1860. I believe my target is 1867. So very good, very good. There's quite a bit of diversity with my calorie intake. Saturday was our day with the team in the event. I ate 871 calories on Saturday. Like, I am focused and talking and really trying to just do my job, and I was not eating at all. So I think I had a couple of wines there, and that was that. And then we got home late and I was exhausted and went to bed. So that's a naughty day. I'm kind of embarrassed to show you my protein intake on that day, but hey, life happens. So calories were good. I think I'm going to be compliant this week. So coming over to have a look at my protein, speaking of, oh my God. 47 grams of protein on Saturday, guys. Woo, woo, woo. That's amazing. But for the rest of the week, you can see I'm pretty consistently over every day. 157, 181, 197. Last night, anniversary dinner, we had steak, 202. Killing the gains. So protein was a little high, but basically because my calories came into balance, that just means that I've reduced my carbs and fat. So you're going to see that I'm probably quite under on those. So a lot of fluctuation this week. 160, 150, 272, 211, 200, Saturday, 92. So a lot of cycling of calories this week. Now there's nothing inherently wrong with that, guys. I think, as I say, every single week, the most important thing is that you are consistent with your calories week to week. Doing this, what you see here, that's going to result in a lot more fluctuation on the scale, but we're looking at averages. So, on the day where I only had, 800 calories, the next day, naturally my weight's going to be very low, but I made up for those calories Sunday night, last night. So of course now my weight's going to pendulum the other way. So it all averages out. Like I said previously, I don't think I'm going to try to continue to have such a flux. I think the leaner I get, the more important it's going to be consistent, just so that my performance in the gym doesn't decline. But for now, I'm still feeling really good. I'm just kind of waiting and anticipating that awful change that usually happens. But I think because I have had pretty good weeks so far, I'm hoping that that's going to contribute to some of the positive feeling that I'm still having. Okay, let's take a quick look at fats and then we'll go and do my check-in. Average fat intake was 52 this week, so that's going to be within my allowable range. So my target this week was 55, so I'm a little bit shy. You can see when we went out for dinner for our anniversary, we just chose all the good things, yeah. So we had like filet mignon, we had like a giant cauliflower, like a roasted cauliflower, and it had breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, I'm such a foodie, capers, lemon, oil. Oh, it was just really good. We had like all the sides, and then Lane actually didn't want to have dessert. I was like, are you serious? He was like, I'm so full. So I didn't have dessert. But anyway, ate all the good things, so a little bit higher on Sunday, but you can see obviously I drastically underate on Saturday, and my fats were quite low throughout the rest of the week too. So let's do my check-in, eh? Okay, this is probably the first time I've done a live check-in with you guys in a hot minute, so let's go. I better put my weight in for this morning. It was 66.1. Okay, close that out. Okay, checking in. So was I compliant? Absolutely, yes. So calories, 1859 was my average, and the allowable range was 1822 to 1912. Protein was obviously much higher than it needed to be, but the average actually wasn't that much higher because of my little low day on Saturday. Carbs were good, fats were a little bit low, but of course those calorie cycling kind of still kept me within the recommended ranges. So I'm going to hit a big old yes. Put my weight in here again. Don't know my body fat, haven't had a chance to do that. I will get around to it, I really will, I promise. So am I close to my menstrual cycle? No. Hit the next. Does everything look okay? Doing science. Okay, nice work. Since your body is responding well, we are not going to make any changes. Keep up the great work. I have to drop my calories this week. Heck yes. Winning. Okay, so staying at 1867. I'll still keep my carbohydrate about 188, fat 55, protein 155. That is on the upper end. It's kind of getting right up there, but that looks good to me. Heck yeah. Prep's going well. So guys, that's pretty much it for this week. If you have any questions about the check-in process, if you want to know more about Carbon Diet Coach, the app that you see me working on right here, this is our nutrition coaching app, you are most welcome to ask questions. I will be hopping on always. If you have any questions, I may actually start answering some of those perhaps in the weekly updates. I know there's been quite a few that have come through in the last few weeks about certain things. So if there are enough of them, I might actually start incorporating those so you guys can have a more in-depth response, because it is hard for me to type it all back to you. And Siri voice to text is terrible. I don't know if you guys use that feature, but oh my God, it's the worst. Anyway, that's enough blabbing. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Join me on the Roads to Worlds if you're interested in signing up for the BioLane Workout Builder. All the links will be in the description here for you below, and I'll see you next week.